and storms. You can just tell me once it is live, Scott. Oh, it takes a little while to do that. The slate? What's the slate? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm 5 News meteorologist Danny Cassidy. Scott Covert's in the back here, and we'll continue to give you updates throughout the day today as these storms move through. Now, thankfully, so far, nothing has been severe, but we have obviously had a lot of storms now starting to move through, especially northwest Arkansas and in Sequoia County as well. And that main line here, which is right in this area, is continuing to move from west to east through the region. Now, again, thankfully, nothing's been severe yet, but we have had some special weather statements, which are basically just below severe criteria, up to pea-size hail, some pea-size hail reported at the Razorback game. Could see possibly as high as penny-size hail in the area. We've had a couple of special weather statements, so let's go like this and let's zoom in to near Razorback Stadium. You can see a little bit of a bigger cell be approaching Razorback Stadium near kind of the Greenland area. So this area right in here would possibly be a little bit more of that hail. Usually when it's a little bit darker colors towards the kind of darker red and pinks, that's usually where you can see some hail. So let's pull up the hail, what we've got going on here, if there's anything detecting it. Nothing being detected on the radar, but again, we've had some reports of pea-size hail at the Razorback game at Razorback Stadium, and definitely could see up to penny-size hail with any of these storms that are moving through, especially when you have those kind of darker cores like it is. So right now, it's just southeast of Battlefield State Park, over Kessler Mountain. If we zoom in a little bit here, obviously Razorback Stadium right there. So that would put it just to the southeast of the stadium, that track, but again, that's if it stays on a consistent line. Still could see a lot of heavy rain incoming, and then obviously some lightning as well. The game has been pushed back to 4:30 p.m. for kickoff, and again, that's only going to stay that way if, again, that lightning is out of the area. It has to be outside of an 8-mile radius within Razorback Stadium. It has to be at least 30 minutes after the last lightning strike. So just to give you an idea of what 8 miles will look like, let's see if I can get deep into Razorback Stadium here. So let's do the ruler, and just to show you how far 8 miles has to be. So basically it's going to be off the map here almost. So you could go down to Greenland, and that's still 5 miles away. So let's even zoom out a little bit farther here. Let's just say Razorback Stadium, and kind of right in that direction right there. So it's got to be past Greenland, kind of in a circle here. So if we go past Greenland, again, it's going to be just south of Greenland. So, and basically anywhere in that circle, it has to be outside of that range. So that's something we're definitely going to keep an eye on, that anything that's kind of, again, in this general vicinity, which is a brutal circle, I might add. But again, that's the rules according to the SEC. There cannot be any lightning strikes within that 8-mile radius. My beautiful oval being drawn, but again, obviously that would extend a little bit farther eastward, probably more towards the Harris region for that 8-mile radius. So that's the current rule. So again, kickoff's at 4:30 as of now. But of course, I'm sure there's many people out and about there. Just make sure you're staying safe. There's a lot of lightning with this. Nothing severe, thankfully, but also could see gusts up to 40 miles per hour as well. This cell has been also reported potentially up to penny-size hail. You can see a little bit of a darker purple here over the Sonora area. That's where you could see that potentially penny-size hail. Let's see the hail track on this one if we do see anything out of this. So it's very faint, but you are seeing a little bit of a circle here. So again, penny-size, that matches up with what the National Weather Service has. So something to keep in mind if you're in the Sonora area, possibly seeing some small hail as we speak. That'll continue to track off to the northeast towards War Eagle there, and then off to the northeast towards Eureka Springs as well. So again, something to definitely keep in mind as you're outside today. We're seeing some penny-size hail potentially, as well as 40-mile-per-hour gusts. So let's pull back the radar here to just kind of show you what is going on right now across the region. You see a lot of that heavy rain as well in Sequoia County. So we'll zoom in a little bit to Sequoia County as well, through the Sallisaw area, off to the west there towards Evening Shade, towards Brushy, towards the Vian area, towards Gore. And so most of the area here is going to be seeing that rain here fairly soon if you haven't already. The eastern half of the river valley may be seeing a little bit more clear skies. You might be thinking, what's going on? We will be seeing that rain here move through eventually. And this is all part of this line. You can see it's extending southward towards kind of the Oklahoma-Texas, or excuse me, yeah, the Oklahoma-Texas border. And it's this line right here that'll tap into a little bit of energy. So just because there's nothing severe right now, obviously good news, but something to definitely keep an eye on is, are we going to see anything later today, which we have a lot of storm fuel to tap into, especially in the river valley. We're seeing very dry conditions, at least on the Arkansas side of things, for much of the day today. So something we're going to be keeping an eye on. Otherwise, other information to talk about here. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the entire 5 News coverage area until 6 o'clock. That being said, I expect the severe threat to wrap up by 4 o'clock, but note that the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service, they coordinate these, and obviously this has got to count for the entire area, so I'd expect that the worst of the severe weather would be done by 4 o'clock if we were to see anything, but that watch does officially go until 6. All hazards are currently in play. We've obviously seen already some up to penny-size hail. Could see damaging wind gusts potentially up to 70 miles per hour. The tornado chance, again, I think it's low overall, but it's not zero, so there's not a lot of ingredients for tornadoes, but along that line, we can sometimes see some spin-ups potentially, so something to keep an eye on there as well. All right, let's go to the future cast here. So you're seeing that line moving through portions of Sequoia County, just off to the west of LaFleur County there, and then into portions of Washington County. So we'll go to 1 o'clock here. Now you're starting to see a lot of that line, lightning just striking outside the studio here in Johnson, really along the I-49 corridor, and then along the Arkansas-Oklahoma border in the river valley. Then 2 o'clock, seeing that main line start to exit. Now again, you might be wondering, if you're in Razorback Stadium, 2 o'clock is gone. Why are they canceling it or delaying it this early? Well, there's going to be storms behind it as well. But again, this is the main line that'll move through that will be potentially severe. Now here's 3 o'clock, really on our eastern edge, especially for the river valley. Most of that leading out, and you notice this Boeing shape. That's where we can see that damaging wind gust threat, as well as maybe some hail and again a spin-up tornado. Now 4 o'clock, that's out of here, but you notice storms are on the backside, and again, it has to be outside that 8-mile radius for that lightning. 5 o'clock, really starting to see those showers taper off, and I think after that will be pretty quiet for the rest of the day. I will say you're going to see this kind of start to move in from the northwest. I'm not expecting much out of this. I think it'll be much weaker than this. That cold front will really swipe through and really take out any of that remaining energy. And then after that, we'll have a quiet night tonight, and then very clear skies as we head into the day tomorrow. We're going to see plenty of sunshine, much drier conditions. So again, the T word gets thrown around. Obviously, you're a little bit on alert, but the good news is there aren't a ton of ingredients associated with it, which is obviously good news. You can see all of that is on the lower side, and will continue to be on the lower side throughout the afternoon hours. So again, can't absolutely rule out a spin up, but for the most part, we're on the lower side for that, which is obviously some good news. In terms of total rainfall, obviously you're already seeing a lot right now in portions of Washington County and Benton County. We could see eventually that total up to about 2 inches of rainfall in northwest Arkansas, possibly some isolated 3 to 4. For the river valley, generally a little bit lower just because it hasn't been raining yet today, but still could see maybe up to 1 inch in some spots, maybe some isolated spots, up to 2 inches of rainfall. So again, that impact alert for the potential of damaging wind gusts, some large hail, and a few spin-up tornadoes. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts. If you're watching this right now, the 5 News Plus app is obviously a great way to do that, as well as social media, No Weather Radio if you're out and about. Remember those emergency wireless alerts? I'm going to actually show you the graphic for that because I want to talk about that. So those wireless emergency alerts are great. You sign up for your phone if you go into your settings, but the problem is that they only go off for certain criteria. So if it's a baseline severe storm, which is 58 mile per hour quarter size hail, it won't go off for that. If it's considerable damage, 70 mile per hour winds, or golf ball size hail, it still won't go off to that, which that can do a lot of damage. It will only go off if it's destructive, meaning 80 mile per hour winds or greater, or baseball size or greater. That's the only time that your wireless emergency alerts will go off. That or a tornado warning. So it's a good way to do it, but for today's case, we might not even reach those numbers. So that's something where just keep in mind that it is one way and it's a great way to do it, but also have, again, multiple ways to receive them other than, again, that wireless emergency alert. The National Weather Service is a great resource for that. Obviously TV, as well as the 5 News Plus app. But again, just be mindful of that for us the rest of the day today. So we'll scroll back up to the radar, just give you one final look of what we're expecting. Again, severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 6 o'clock. this evening, but many of us will have that severe threat done by 4 o'clock. This is the main line right here. This will be moving through, and once this line is through, we could still see some storms on the backside, but that severe threat will be over with and will be done. So just watch for this here as it continues to move off to the east, kind of east-northeast. It's moving in kind of just from the southwest. So that's the latest here in terms of that severe weather, or not necessarily severe weather update, but storm update. If we do see any severe weather, we'll make sure to alert you here on the 5 News Plus app and on social media. Scott Covert and I will be here just kind of updating you on that. Otherwise, stay safe out there, know where those shelters are, and have a great rest of your day.